Today's episode is brought to you by DraftKings Casino. Yes, indeed, baby. The awesome app that they have, which we already let you know, it is safe, it is secure. Most importantly, it is reliable. I mean, it's a fun app too. I mean, you talk about your table games that you could play when you're at a casino. You're able to do that on the app as well.
And it's getting a little cold right now, so you might be less apt to take the trip to the casino. Why not just get by the fireside? Load up the app.
Come on now.
Play some blackjack.
You can't go wrong with that. Or if you're not if you want to do the slots, you can do the slot machines. I mean, it's a ton of games that you're able to play with DraftKings Casino. But, Deke, you hit on something pretty cool, bro.
What's that?
You know, I was thinking about when you said downloading the app, right? Because that means it would be their first time using it.
Yeah.
Well, you know, when it's your first time downloading the DraftKings Casino app, you can type in a promo code. And you know what that promo code is?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Let's see.
It's pretty simple.
Uh-oh.
My memory's been getting bad, but not too bad. It's simply MOATS.
Oh, okay. Ladies and gentlemen, the promo code is MOATS. If you use that when you first sign up on the DraftKings Casino app, you'll receive up to $2,000 in deposit bonus money. It is an awesome concept. So with that being said, man, download the app, stop wasting time, and use that promo code so you can have an opportunity to make a little money. But Deke, you know, it's something that we have to talk about.
What's that?
Sometimes with gambling applications, people have problems. Sometimes people, you know, they don't know when to stop. And sometimes when you have a gambling problem, there's a number you should call, Deke. Now, since I care about you, I'm going to just tell you what it is, okay?
Okay. You're just going to tell me?
I'm going to tell you that you need to call 1-800-GAMBLER. I say, oh, you better call 1-800-GAMBLER. I say, you better call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Brian Shurin. He says, just pay Joe Haden. # the truth.
Uh-oh, where do you come down on this, man?
Yeah, if he wants to come back for a discount, I feel the same way. I want him back.
Now, y'all can't say come back for a discount. That is not pay the man. Pay the man and come back on a discount are two different things for Joe Haden.
What were we talking? We were talking between $4 and $6 million, I think. I think that's fair. That's fair for the Steelers. Now, is that a little bit?
That's not fair for Joe, though, is it?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It depends. It depends what the market is, too. Because can we get someone of Joe's caliber where he's at in his career for around that price?
Are you willing to take that risk? Because
if we get a Kello back, yeah. So we got Cam back for sure. Yeah, I would take that risk.
See, I think you take that risk and you end up in a situation like we've been in this season where we took the gamble on being able to replace Steven Nelson, and that really did not work. I mean, I still have our doubts if we've solidified that right now.
Solidified's a good
word. Right, because
word.
we could talk about Kello's performance yesterday, and was it good? Absolutely it was. But it's still a lot of context with it in terms of the matchup, in terms of the quarterback. All of that still plays into it. And until we see him in a situation where he has to go up against a legit offense that can really air it out, right? Well, this would be his opportunity, right? We'll be able to learn a lot more about him and that group. I think once we start seeing that a lot more, that will change my perspective in terms of Kello and if he is a long-term answer. Because as we've seen, anybody can do it for a short span. We saw that with James Pierre at times this season, but to do it week in and week out, when teams know who you are, they got film on you, and you got to go up against more marquee talent, that is when we're really going to see, can he solidify? Now, if he can, great. We got that solidified. We got that answer. We're done. But if he can't, then we're still right back where we've been this whole time. And that's my only thing, and why I caution the whole, can we go this route and replenish that cornerback room? You know what I mean? Like, if we didn't bring back Joe Haden. Because to me, I think with Joe out there, the confidence that they play with, it shows. And it's not even saying that Joe played a perfect game, because he didn't.
Played good, though.
The energy that he brings, the confidence that he allows his guys to have, that helps out a lot. But at the same time, I do feel like it's a fine balance with the team in terms of how much you want to compensate him and how much you're willing to say, you know what, I'd rather go and do this without you than pay you that. I don't know where they're going to end on that. And I think these next couple of weeks will show you a lot more of that. But I do think that is something that these next 3 weeks are really going to dictate in terms of how much Joe can get, if he's going to get it here, versus if the team just says, you know, we're confident that we can go and replace you cheaper potentially.
And that's the other thing. How long's the deal? How do they work the deal? Mm-hmm. I mean, Joe might be looking for more years, more security, so he might want something like 3 years. Mm-hmm. Could we front load it so where we still have cap flexibility in the third year if we have to cut them where the dead cap hit's not that much? Could it just be a 1-year deal? But that would increase maybe the number a little bit so we have cap flexibility after that. So there's a lot to it. I just don't know what his raw market would be if he went out there this offseason. Is it really going to be 10? Is it going to be 8, 9?
But I do think he has more leverage in Pittsburgh, though, solely because he
continuity.
knows. Well, no, not that. I'm saying he has leverage in terms of raising his number here because we've seen what this secondary looks like without him, and we've seen what it looks like with him. It's a direct correlation in terms of that part. And I do think that gives him a little bit more leverage in this sense than traditional, like what you were like alluding to right there. I think in a traditional sense, yeah, but because we've seen the legit drop off that there is when he's not out there, I do think the team has to bend over a little bit more for him if he wanted to go that route when negotiations happen. And that's solely based on how these next 3 games go.
The other question is, though, he said he wants to be back in Pittsburgh. Mm-hmm. How much does he still feel that way?
I don't think that him wanting to be in Pittsburgh is ever going to change. I think he loves it and wants to retire.
So, I mean, how much is he willing to go somewhere else?
I don't think it's
just for maybe a little bit more money.
I don't think it's an issue of willing to. I think it's like Joe is just the business part of it. If the team here is going to pay you $4 million, that team over there is going to pay you $7 million. It's easy for a person that is not getting that money to say, "Oh, that $3 million isn't that significant." But when you're in that situation and you're like, "No, extra $3 million, it is pretty significant." Those are some of the things that you have to decide. And for Joe, I don't know if that's going to be enough to sway him either way.
Right,
None of us do. Right? None of us do. He's made a ton of money, but he don't take any discounts with any of the deals he's taking here. If you've noticed, he's getting that money, and that's what you're supposed to do. So with that, I just don't know. Like I said, that common ground between the team and Joe, but I do think these next 3 weeks is going to clear it up a lot more because up until this point, I do think that Joe was playing well enough to, like I said, warrant a conversation for it, but we weren't willing to say, let's break the bank for him either.
No.
But obviously in the immediate, hills of the performance yesterday, it's like, well, yeah, man, we should definitely pay him whatever. And it's like, well, at the same time,
he did get torched.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the part people, because it was a drop, because he made the play to win it, and because we won the game, you forget that part. And you go over it, you're like, oh, everything is good.
Recovery too,
right. But it's like, it's a totally different game if that guy makes that catch. It's a totally different game. If it's a better throw, it just changes the outlook of it. And no different than when we talked about Cam Sutton early in the season, right? In training, or when we were like, man, he's getting torched, but the guys are dropping the ball. So you really can't fault him per se, but it doesn't make you feel most confident. To me, it's like, I love the run support play. I love the tackle here, but I can't forget what I saw earlier in the game. And it's like, okay, can I hang my hat that's always going to happen? That is always going to be a drop or something that's, going to be like that. I'm not willing to put my eggs in that basket. And I think for the team, that goes for the negotiation part as well. And that's the part where I was like, it could get a little interesting just to see how these next 3 games go, because if you're getting crazy productivity, but you still have these long foul balls, like we call it, right? Where it's like, man, you were beat, but whatever reason, whether it was a penalty, whether it was a drop, bad throw, whatever, you kind of get out of it. It's like, all right, is this productivity enough to outweigh those scary moments? Or is it, all right, you minimize the scary moments, but we're not getting the splash plays? Like, I think that's what we're going to see these next 3 weeks of what that balance is. But I definitely hope that, it's somewhere in between, because like I said, I love the splash plays, but I don't like the gory, let me hold my stomach and hope that this is an incompletion either.
Yeah, we wait and see for these next 3 games. And that's what it's been since the start of the season. That's what it was whenever Joe Haden came out with the comments that he wants to stay here in Pittsburgh. He's looking for a contract extension. Mm-hmm. we thought the same thing. It's just like, Steelers are going to wait out the season. There's no rush to try to give him an extension right now because you got to see how the young cornerbacks are going to play. See how Joe's playing at, what is he, 32, 33 this season? Yeah, so there was no rush to any of this, and I kind of feel the same way right now. I'm good with him coming back, and I want him back, but at what price? Is 6 good? Six seems fair, but let's see how the last 3 play out.
That's us saying 6, but for him, he might be saying 6 is fair market-wise, but when I look at the current depth, I'm worth more to y'all than $6 million. You know what I mean?
But then that's the Steelers like saying, hey, what did Steven Nelson sign for? Didn't he only sign for...
I don't remember all the details with it.
It was single digits for sure. We were a little bit surprised by that, but the market kept like going down. Right. So maybe the Steelers are like, okay, whatever. If that's not enough for you, we'll sign this dude. We think you're replaceable by bringing him in, and if we bring back Witherspoon, draft the guy in the 3rd round. But
this is what I'm saying though. We did that exact approach a year ago with the not a year ago, this offseason with the Stephen O situation, and we've seen. It has not been.
I do think Nelson was a little bit different than this one just because of his age. I wasn't a fan of us letting go of Steven Nelson.
No, I agree with that as well. But I'm just saying in the sense of like how
their play for sure.
I'm
very
saying
similar.
like how easily we think we're just going to replace these guys. I don't necessarily think is that simple. And I think that they saw that and learned that not necessarily the hard way, because I'm sure at the NFL level, Kevin Colbert, Mike Tomlin, they understand it's going to be difficult at times. But I do think fan wise, we try to like minimize it and make it seem really easy. And that's what happened with the whole Cam Sutton, he can do that. And we're like, not necessarily. No, he can't. And we all kind of have seen this play out, whether it's been Cam Sutton, whether it's been James Pierre, Justin Lane. Like, we haven't really found that number 2 guy. Now, like Kello, like I said, he's put together 2 really good games, but some things have went in his favor. So now he's going to get a chance versus a team that, hey, you're not going to get those type of luxuries. This is a legit quarterback with legit receivers. You're going to be tested. We're going to see, can you continue to put on tape what you're putting on tape? And if you can, well, now that 6 you're talking about the show,
way out of here, honestly.
Well, that part too, right? That part too. But those are all the things, the different like intangibles that are going to impact that room in terms of who gets brought back and whether or not you need to go and draft the guy earlier potentially.